It's not really new news that racist depictions of pop characters, or more specifically for this video, black characters, have been a thing in history for a very long time. From live action to Disney and all the way up to anime, racist depictions of black people have been around for a while. But of course nowadays that rarely ever happens, if at all, and you hardly ever see it now. But that does lead us to today's topic video. What do you consider an accurate depiction of an African American or just black person in general when it comes to anime or even cartoons? Well, buckle up because it's time for a little history lesson. And I think the best place to start is going to be the also infamous blackface. As you guys know, blackface was a way to mock black people back in like the 1800s and 1900s. It was a very racially motivated way to just make fun of black people. Usually it would be a white person who would, dress up in this makeup and of course mock the facial features of black people and use it as a way as entertainment. And throughout history, we've seen plenty of cartoon characters and of course anime that represent and use this kind of makeup in order to depict a black character. As you can see by these photos, this is a depiction of blackface, and here are a few images of, well, anime characters that have traits of this racially motivated, humiliation tactic. See the striking resemblance. You can see why some people may raise their eyes at these kind of designs. But then again, is this a way of making fun of black people, or is it a stylistic choice? Well, that brings up another interesting question. A lot of creators who consume anime really do not jive well with the donut lip method. And you can see the donut lips is something that happens a lot in anime. It's been done in Dragon Ball Z, and it's been done in One Piece. It's been done in a lot of popular anime across the centuries. Is it a stylistic choice, or are they mocking people? Well, that is also a gray area, because on one hand it could be a style, but on the other hand, it can be seen as not. What's interesting is that during my research, I found out that a lot of people defend this method because it is true that black people do have features like this. No, wait. I don't mean features like blackface. That's obviously not true. I'm talking about large lips, large noses. That is a feature and a trait amongst black people. But it's not the only trait. Not every single black person in the world has these features. There are plenty of black people in this world who have small button noses and thinner lips, and of course large lips and large noses. It's not a specifically black feature to have something like this. We're also going to bring up another character from an anime, Sister Krone. Now, Sister Krone has gotten a lot of backlash for her design, and of course, a lot of people really hated how she was depicted in the anime. Now, by first glance, if you look at this manga panel out of context, you would think that this is a way of mocking black people and of course their facial features. But I actually don't agree. I beg to differ. I think that Sister Krone is an accurate depiction of a black person, and it's not supposed to be mocking at all. I actually think that her design is a great example of how black characters can be drawn in anime. Now, of course, out of context, this panel can come across as offensive, but you have to understand the actual story and who Sister Krone is as a character. I'm not saying that it's wrong to jump to conclusions and say that this might be a way of mocking black people, because of course, if you don't watch the show or watch the anime, you could think that easily. But Sister Krone is meant to be a creepy character. She's supposed to be a scary individual. She's scary and creepy, but she also happens to be, well, black. If we were to actually analyze her design, I would say that she looks normal, in my opinion. In fact, I know someone who looks smack like her, like scarily enough. Oh yes, her face can come across as creepy sometimes. That's kind of the point. It's supposed to be off-putting and scary. And anybody, whether you're black, white, blue, or green, can be off-putting or scary if that's the character you're trying to go for. See, in my opinion, Sister Krone is meant to be a creepy and scary character because that's just how she's written. Now, of course, I don't want to spoil the show, but if you have seen the show, you guys know her past, her history, and why she does what she does. And that's why I want to bring up the clown theory. Now, as you guys know, fear of clowns is a very common fear. I'm pretty sure there's a name for it, but I'm not sure what it is right now, but it's pretty much the fear of clowns. And I think the best way to convey fear to an audience is to make them look like a clown and see those kind of features heightened. Now, clowns are usually depicted with very creepy smiles and very large lips that are painted. And this, of course, gives the audience a very off-putting feeling. And I think the writers or the creators of Sister Crone were trying to mimic that exact emotion. Giving her a very exaggerated smile, making her look downward, gives a sense of fear to the audience when they're reading, and of course fear in the characters who are looking at her. Of course, this could come across as offensive if you see it out of context, but once you know the context, it all of a sudden starts to make more sense why she's drawn this way in the manga. And even in the anime. Throughout the anime and the manga, Sister Crone is drawn very respectfully and drawn normally, and only in certain panels where she's trying to come across as intimidating or scary is where they exaggerate her features, if that makes any sense. I think it's very important to differentiate the actual intent behind the character and try not to jump to conclusions about what they're trying to convey, even if it's subliminal, just to, I don't know, fit an agenda. Not every character is meant to be racist. Not everything is supposed to be offensive. But things can be taken out of context and therefore labeled as such. But it's important for us to actually, learn the context behind why it's happening first before we jump to conclusion. But there are also other characters that I think really accurately depict black people, such as Canary from Hunter x Hunter, Yoruichi from Bleach. And actually, Bleach has a lot of black characters who are very accurately depicted. We can't forget the characters from Fire Force because this is just fire, no pun intended. And many others that we don't even have time to get into right now are very accurate depictions of black people, and they all look different according to the anime they're in. But you can obviously see that it is possible to represent a black character in anime without resorting to the, of course, blackface method of doing so. It's important to understand that there are black people who do have features such as large lips, large noses, and very dark skin. And there's nothing wrong with these features at all. They're beautiful, in fact, and they should be praised more often. There's a very big difference between mocking it and of course representing it in an accurate way. Anime and manga and of course cartoons have come a long way with their depictions of black characters in their media. And there are so many good animes and manga out there that do it just so well. I'm sorry to say that there are a lot of anime characters out there that people think are black but aren't at all. Just because a character has tan skin doesn't automatically mean that they're supposed to be black. Now hear me out real quick, okay? There's a lot of characters in anime that are just regular anime characters, but they just color them with a darker skin tone. And listen, sometimes these characters don't even have a race at all. Sometimes it's an elf who doesn't even have a race, or some other character that's not even classified as such. And that's true. We should also remember that not every single character is meant to be black, if that makes any sense. There are plenty of people around the world who have darker pigment skin who aren't classified or labeled as quote-unquote black, if you know what I mean. People come in all types of colors and shades, and it's important to know that if you see a fictional character in cartoons or anime or whatever you're watching, that it might not always be a black person just because they have darker skin. It could be someone who's from India, Native American. Who knows? It can be all kinds of different kinds of people, even mixed as well. And of course, each group of people has different features that make up that category. I know some people don't like the term category or labels, because we're all human, and I understand that. But think of it like breeds of dogs. Okay, I'm not saying that we're like dogs, obviously, but how we classify different breeds of dogs, like Dalmatians, hounds, pit bulls, that are all dogs at the end of the day, but there's different types of dogs. It's the same thing with people. So I don't see an issue with classifying it like this, all right? We're all humans, yes, but there's different types of human, you know what I'm saying? But let's go back to the stylistic choice part of this video, where we talked about the donut lip method, because it is a gray area between a stylistic choice and a racially motivated mocking way of drawing lips. The best way I can explain it is if you can give anyone these lips, no matter what color they are, whether they're black, white, or Asian, doesn't matter what color they are, then you can of course think of that as a stylistic choice, alright? Because your style is how you draw characters in general. But if you only use this method to depict a black character, then that's where it can be kind of iffy. If you draw every other character with regular lips and then give your black characters these donut lips, that can come across as a racially motivated way of drawing black people. But if you just want more variety in your character designs and think these lips look cool, I guess, then that's a different story. But I would like to know your guys' thoughts. So it is a fine line to walk when it comes to drawing black people in media, but I'm just glad that we're in a place where black folks are depicted much better in anime and cartoons. So in my opinion, I think we're in a good place. I think that right now anime and cartoons and manga is in a good place when it comes to depicting black characters. and I just can't wait to see more in the future. But anyway, y'all, thank you guys so much for watching me yap for 10 minutes. Appreciate you guys sticking around. Drawing is a character of mine from my series The Black Lotus. Her name is Mocha, and hope you guys like her. Mocha is a character in my new book The Black Lotus. If you guys want to support independent mangaka, you can buy the book down below. Help support your boy, and I'll see you degenerates in the next video. Peace. Ow.